Lord, this is sad. I mean, with all this going on, I did not see this coming. Honey, we done lost a little person, honey. And it wasn't due to the Rona, honey. It was due to some road rage, baby. Somebody done ran down Miss Darn Minnie, baby. And I ain't trying to make joke of the situation, but her name literally on the show was called Miss Minnie. And it ain't even going to be the same. It's like the irony is the show is supposed to come up if they decide to even still air it. I think out of respect for the mama and the other women, they should still air it because it's like they're a couple seasons in, and especially during this time, mama could use a few coin. Now mama was financially stable herself, but during this time she could still use a little extra coin, and you don't want to hurt the other ladies for Miss Minnie. So it's like, ooh, how is Lifetime going to do this one? Because they already said it's supposed to air out later this summer. And we know, it's a sore spot because it's like she just freshly passed. And unlike Big Ange, who y'all know, Big Ange died on Mob Wise, but we knew she was dealing with lung cancer. But Miss Minnie actually got in a car accident, sustained injuries, and unfortunately has passed away. And y'all know it didn't help that she was suffering from congestive heart failure, where she was only given about 1 to 5 years anyways. So it's like, ooh, this is really a messed up situation. But yeah, it's definitely a rest in peace up to darn Miss Minnie. Ooh, my. I mean, this is going to be an awkward season, right? Because y'all know her and Miss Juicy Baby. Honey, her and Miss Juicy Baby don't get along. And y'all know there's bound to be some drama. And now people going to look at Miss Juicy with the side eye this season. Now, I just want to remind folks that the season has already been recorded. I had to remind folks because some people don't understand in the moment that this is not recorded in real time, that we are looking at stuff that was taped months in advance. So long before the car accident and all that, because I don't want people getting up on Miss Juicy's case for some shit that we might see on these upcoming episodes if they decide to air, and which I hope they still air the show. So, and then it's like it's gonna be real sad if they decide not to, because y'all know Miss Juicy did not go on with the Ricky Smiley Morning Show, which she's been on there for 12 years. And she still got like the Little Women Atlanta franchise to fall on. She got her management company, and she's on Wild 'N Out. But it's like she would definitely feel a hit if she lose this paycheck as well. It's like she really don't got it like that where she can afford to lose the Ricky Smiley Show and on top of that lose Little Women Atlanta. So it's like I really hope that it doesn't hurt the other Little Women, and then the other Little Women, they really don't got nothing outside of the show. It's like the show is what really pushes them. So it's like, ooh, but Minnie was like one of the staples. But like Detective Stapler, can the show go on without me? And hey, and I ain't trying to say that in an insensitive way, but yeah, and people don't want to address the subject because it's like, is it too soon? She ain't even really in the ground yet, and then with the corona, only so many people can be at the funeral if they decide to have a funeral. So it's like, but from the marketing perspective, people still got to think, okay, we still got to think about how the show is going to run. And even if we decide to air this season, how does the next season look? Can the show sustain without Minnie, who was a day one? She was actually a full feature before Juicy. Juicy came in at season 2. She was a guest on season 1, but she was such a personality that they ended up making her a permanent character. Y'all know in the season 1, it was really the Tiny Twins, Left Cheek, Right Cheek, and Minnie along with Money. Those were the 6 original girls. Then they decided to bring Juicy on as a full-time instead of a guest feature. And then they brought in our Latina girl, Tanya, and then her friend. And then they got rid of them two. And then Abira was still around. Now they done finally brought Abira on, what it seems like, as a full-time castmate as well. So Abira finally got her status solidified. And I'm thinking they could possibly get the show to still continue. They don't need to replace nobody. I mean, no. Minnie's irreplaceable. Honey, Miss Minnie, irreplaceable. Don't do like Housewives and try to find somebody else to fill that slot. It's like, if you're going to fill that slot, it should not be filling Minnie's slot. It should go ahead and bring somebody who was already on there. It's like, this is the perfect time to go ahead and go down to Instagram and get Miss Darn Minnie Thought Pocket / herbologist, honey. My fellow darn naturalista. Go ahead and get Tanya back on the show. Go, if you're going to, because that's the only way I can see the dynamic still being alive. Because you don't want to introduce a new stranger into the mix. Even though with the Little Women community, they all know each other in the industry. Like even over in LA when they cross and do shows and stuff together, it's like they all have a familiarity with each other. But it's like they still have that closeness. It's like you might as well just bring Tanya back. Just bring Tanya back, and that way they already know her. The storyline is not as fake. It's scripted because it's like these girls have a legitimate darn history with each other versus trying to bring in a total stranger like they did with Eva off of Real Housewives of Atlanta, and she came in under the guise of being darn Nene's best friend, and now ended up being Cynthia's best friend, and more in line with darn Kenya. Just like over on Married to Medicine, they brought darn Contessa in as Toya's best friend. And then Toya ended up darn having a run-in with Contessa to the point where Contessa was threatening to choke her out and shit. So it's like, don't bring in fake friends that come in as one person's friend and then they end up being somebody else's friend. Like, that, we don't need that, no more of that shit. Like, Little Women has always been consistent with having people with legitimate history with each other. So, it's like, let's stick with that. Bring Tanya back for the next season. And I feel with Tanya and the other girl back mixed in with Abira and Money. And, Money I think is still in Texas, though. But I seen her featured, so I don't know what's going on with Money. Like, is she just there for a couple? Because last time I checked, she moved down to Texas because she couldn't get full custody of her son or whatever. So she moved to Texas to be down there with the son. So I don't know what's going on with Money. If she's back full time, what does that mean? I don't know. But I think I seen Money in the darn promo. Now I don't know if she's a full-time castmate in Atlanta. I mean, she could be bi-coastal. I mean, it worked. I mean, we see it with the Ricky Smiley Morning Show. Eva filming on Real Housewives of Atlanta 6 months throughout the year and still making it down to Texas every day. So I don't see why Money can't, come from Texas up to Atlanta every day. I mean, Eva does it, and she has multiple children. She now has 3 children. Two of them not even old enough to be in school, and then one that's in elementary school. Versus, the son is a teenage boy. So it's like I can see Money traveling back and forth to Texas to and it's not necessarily bi-coastal because Texas is still on the East Coast, but since Texas is so far down, it's like it's real down in the West, so to speak, like Southwest. Versus Atlanta is in the, the Southeast, so to speak. Like, you can realistically drive from North Carolina to Atlanta within like 7 hours. I still quite long. But Texas is like, it'll take you about a good, Houston, Texas, it's going to take you roughly about 30 hours to get from North Carolina Fayetteville down to Houston, Texas. So yeah, it's better to get on the plane or whatever. But yeah, once again, rest in peace to Miss Minnie. The show ain't going to be the same, y'all. I hate to even report this. What y'all think? So y'all thoughts on this? I hope they catch the driver because they said it was a hit and run. Then I was watching Paris Milan, and then come to find out, darn on, and you know I ain't comparing, but darn on Miss Juicy, baby, woo. Honey, Miss Juicy was in a damn car accident just the last year before. Honey, darn on, and got hit by not one but two semi trucks. I'm like, God damn. Darn on Miss Juicy done got hit and darn on live to tell the tale. Oh, please let's not do comparisons though. I know, you know, Team Minnie might be like, because Minnie and Juicy is almost like the miniature non-singing versions of Patty and Aretha, where it's like they have this long-standing feud when both of them was alive, but we never really knew what the feud was about. Just like with Minnie and Miss Juicy. It's like these two have this long-standing feud, but we really don't know what it's about, because I highly doubt it's really over Pastor Troy, because we got introduced to Miss Juicy. Miss Juicy, baby, woo! Honey, we got introduced to Miss Juicy trying to spill the beans on her line about, you know, Minnie line about being with Pastor Troy. Which wasn't really a full lie, because he actually was interested in her. We seen that they did actually have a connection later on in subsequent seasons, but it's like at the time they really wasn't conversing like that, and she put 20 on 10. But I don't even think that warranted this feud that they had going on, because they have like a Patty and a Riri like frenemy feud, like you know, I tolerate you, bitch, but I really don't fuck with you like that. Like, that's what Minnie and Juicy have going on. What had going on. And now, even with, you know, the circumstance, Miss Juicy nearly died in a car accident and got hit by two semi-trucks. But Minnie, you know, sustained a regular hit and run with a car. But once again, you got to take in the fact that, you know, Minnie has congestive heart failure. And that played more of a role in why and then she actually, I guess the damage was more severe than what Minnie, you know, what Miss Juicy's damage was, because Juicy got sideswiped, one from the left side, one from the right, versus I'm hearing that Minnie sustained like a head-on collision. So yeah, two totally different damages. So once again, very sad. A soul lost too soon, honey. Our fellow beautician, honey. Darn on for y'all that didn't know, she was a hairstylist. Even though her wigs wasn't hitting half the time, she was slaying some darn on hair up on the stool. Maybe she's slaying hair in the darn on pearly gates, honey. Y'all make sure to lower that darn on knob down so Miss Minnie can go ahead and lift it on up and darn on go through the pearly gates, honey. Y'all know she was a Christian sister, so y'all lower that darn on gate down. Go ahead and lower it down to Miss Minnie level, and or you know, no shade Minnie. They can let you go through the cat salute. They got a little darn on hole for the cats and the dogs to go through. Not calling you a bitch or anything, but you know, if they don't want to lower the gate for you, you go ahead and sneak through and then come on back over to the human side, honey. But anyways, on a serious note, it's sad to see her go. The show ain't going to be the same. But y'all leave y'all thoughts, comments, suggestions down below. I hope the show still goes on, even though it's not going to be the same, because y'all know they end up canceling darn going Mod-wise, mostly in part of Big Ed's untimely death. And she wasn't even a main feature, really. Well, she did become a main feature. I still think the show, it was like, yeah, the show really couldn't go on without Big Ed, because Big Ed was like the person who combined everybody together. But I don't think they need that same connectiveness necessarily with, you know, Little Women of damn, here I am stuttering like I'm one of the Little Women, honey. But here, I don't think they need that same connection like they do with Mod Wives. I think they could still push on forward. I mean, hell, not to compare it to TV shows like that, but Stabler got gone. He's been gone for now what 10 seasons. We in season 21 of darn gone SVU, and he's now just come back. But the show was darn gone still going on without him. But once again, he was still very, fictional because he's still alive. Not to say that's why I made the comparison to Big Ange, who was a person in real life who died, and, Minnie the same way. But y'all leave y'all thoughts down below, and I'll see y'all soon with more videos. Mwah.